Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
No one's here. Hi.
Give it a minute to stabilize. But yeah, it's been a week. We're getting to that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's going to be, Valentine's Day. We got sales and platforms going crazy. I launched a new one.
A new platform.
Yeah, Terrasophy launched. Hello, Miss Brenda.
Yeah, I'm with them now. I'm totally on board with Polis.
Yep. So you need to start logging into that and balancing that schedule out. That's always fun.
Right. Yeah. So see what happens there.
Yeah, it's new. They always take so long to build.
Is that your platform?
No, I do not own that one. I do not own a platform. I work as a contractor for platforms, and that's all I'm doing.
Right. Fair enough.
I don't want to own a platform unless I can buy the one I want. And when I do buy it, they're all in trouble.
I know you'll do
the lottery and book me a plane to Germany and go silent for a month. You guys just wait for the emails and the pink slips to start rolling out. That's all I have to say about it because I have high standards.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, plus, we got the launch of videos, which is kind of fun.
Overall, launch of what? Videos?
Launch of video, introduction.
Oh, yeah, the one we're doing, for the listing, yes.
Yeah, that's 5 years behind.
So is that going to be the start to our video chats?
I'm hoping that it's the start to it. And then that steps us into hologram chats and, all the 99 yards of tomato juice. Yeah.
Hologram would be interesting.
Oh, I think it'll be fun. My virtual reading platform in Second Life is always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I recently done a reading in Portuguese.
Really?
It was quite interesting. I used a translator to do it. It was kind of fun.
Right. That'd be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Do it with a translator.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to come along. I think eventually everywhere will be a universal translator. And you'll be able to read in multiple languages. But then that's when it gets into the kitschy stuff.
Yeah. Sounds like Star Trek, because in Star Trek they have automatic translators as soon as they speak to somebody.
We're getting there. Getting there. I was speaking with on Tuesday a designer of AI on the coffee shop, and we were talking about how AI is taking over a lot, and it is a wonderful secretary. It's not as good as a psychic, but it's great as a secretary to help point out word definitions or phrases that could sound differently.
Well, I used AI to write something out this morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It worked out really well.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It makes it much more formal. It makes it much more easier readable.
Yeah. It's not what to do, and it does it for you.
Well, normally. I mean, you got to catch them once in a while because it gets stupid.
Yeah. You got to be careful with what they say, what it says, but it still says it.
It's like having an assistant. You got to make sure they actually write it as you would say it.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's been new in your world? I mean, we got you through the holidays. You have a good Christmas?
We had a very good Christmas here. The Christmas went very well. What's new in my world? I'm really a rediscovery of the Julia Child. She's that chef, that woman. So a rediscovery of her. So my daughter went ahead and bought me her cookbooks, volume 1 and volume 2. So I'll be experimenting with some of her food.
That'll be interesting.
I did one already.
The wine bill will go up.
I did her pot roast, and I replaced wines. I've got to buy wine, so I replaced wine with beef bouillon instead, like I just used. But that turned out like that was a huge success. I mean, I thought I was a big pot of pot roast here. It's gonna last for 2 days, right?
Right.
But it was gone by that same evening. It was just gone.
Right, and it does that, unfortunately.
Yeah, they ate it all, and there was not even a speck left over.
Right.
All that was left over was the dishes.
And that happens. I make a lovely pork roast where I use cranberries and cranberry sauce, and it's delicious.
Yeah.
It's quick, it's easy, it's functional.
Tastes good.
Always. If it don't taste good, I ain't cooking it.
Yeah. Do you make your own cranberry sauce?
I do not. I am, one, I don't have time to process it and jello it, and because sorry.
I know.
And then get the ribs in it is terrible.
No, it's easy peasy. Now what I do, I get 2 bags of cranberries. I wash them. I sort them out, get those squishy ones out. I put them in a pot. I put like a couple of cups of water in there. I boil it, like bring it to a simmer, and then I add sugar and squeeze in some lemon juice. Let it boil, and then it's done.
Well,
that's it.
My cranberry sauce is a little bit different. I grab a jar, I grab a can, I open the can from the bottom, I slide it out, and I slice it along its slicing guide. It's delicious and easy and done with.
Well, I do. I used to do it that way, but now I do it the other way. I make it.
Yeah, I find as I'm getting older and I have less people to cook for.
Yeah.
That because we done simple Christmas, simple Thanksgiving. Like Bob Evans done my mashed potatoes. He can do my mashed potatoes every year.
Bob Evans is a very good friend of mine.
Yes. I'm gonna let
mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Throw them in the microwave 5 minutes, they're done, and it's over with. There's no pelling and boiling and stressing. And at the pace of my life right now, it's like, what brings me more joy? Peeling potatoes or taking client calls?
I know. Bob Evans.
Calls.
Yeah, Bob Evans is the best. Like if I'm doing mashed potatoes, it's usually Bob Evans. But if I'm not doing it, I do a roast, and it's easy because you have to put the potatoes in those little potatoes. Just wash them and put them in the pot roast. In the roast, that's it.
Right.
There's no peeling or cutting or anything.
Right, and and that's pretty easy and pretty nice.
Interesting.
You're going to go down and visit my third cousin's cookbooks. That'll be interesting.
The third cousin's what? Sorry.
Is that you got a copy of Julia Child's cookbook? She's like a third or fourth cousin of mine.
Really?
Really.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. And the most important instruction.
I can see it I can see it now.
Yeah. The most important instruction in any of her recipes is a cup of wine for the recipe and a cup of wine for the cook.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, we're moving into New Year, and I'm seeing so much new me shit. It's like, oh, please, would we not? Could we not?
What's new?
New Year, new me, at the stroke of midnight, everybody decided they wanted to be new people, and it's like, oh, no, you aren't.
No, everyone kind of stays the same. People grow with their experiences in life, whether it's New Year's Eve or, April 2nd. Doesn't matter what date it is. If you're going to change, you're going to change.
Right, and you're not going to change until either A, you're forced to, or B, you want to.
Right. And every experience you have kind of changes you in some way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that we're all not the same people. The more you learn, the more you experience, the more we change.
Right.
And it's also what you feel comfortable with as a human being, and how you operate every day. It's what you feel you're used to and comfortable with, and
what you get used to, which is even harder, is because it's like, okay, well, because like I've been looking around at houses. I've entertained the idea of moving within the next 18 months. So I want to see what the market looks like, that type of thing.
right.
And some of these houses, I'm like, nope, that is not worth $250,000. That bathroom looks horrendous. And I'm talking like, half beaten towel, and I'm like, what the heck is this crap?
Yeah, people don't look after their houses properly. Then they want to sell them, and they want to get a big price for it.
Oh, they want to get huge prices for them. Like, comparative to when I bought this house, it is like 100+ times the same house in another area is like way more than what it should be. And I'm like, 250,000 for a 3-bedroom home? No, not enough bonus space there to make that up.
What do you want to pay? What do you want to pay for a house?
Comfortable at 150,000 for a 4-bedroom. It's got to have an acre of land, preferably a basement. Preferably the land is semi-flat in areas, and preferably secluded. Like I told my realtor, I want to be able to look out my windows and not see my neighbors.
You would hate living in New York City.
No, New York City would hate living with me. Like I promise you, I've been to New York. No, move me to the Poconos where I can at least expand a little bit.
And also, for $150,000 in New York City, there's nothing. They can buy a bathroom. Maybe.
Yeah, no. Well,
closet.
When I bought this house, I paid $17,000.
Really?
Really?
How long ago was that?
We got it in '92.
Wow, a long time ago.
Yeah, it's an older home, but solid build.
17,000.
Yeah. So even if I put it onto a fire sale, I'm going to make a profit.
Well, I got to make a profit. Big
right.
One.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
The tax office is still listing it for like 42. So even at that, it's going to be a profit. Like if we sell it at the tax assessed rate, there'll be a good profit in it.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see.
For 42,000, you'd sell for more than 42,000.
Oh, I'm listing it for 104 if I put it on the market right now.
Makes more sense, yeah.
Yeah.
If we could buy a house for $100,000 here, we would already own one. We would already own it outright immediately.
Well, it really depends on the house and the location and how the location is. Because it's got to be a different one. It needs to be a different situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't get anything here for under, even upstate. Like upstate houses are up like over 400,000. Anywhere in the city, even a little 2-bedroom, two family house, you're looking at like over $1 million. There's no way on the planet you could buy anything here for that price those prices that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Well, and that's one reason that New York is not an option.
No, it's not.
Just because it's how it is.
Yeah.
I need more space. There's no place to have a garden. and I would annoy my neighbors.
Well, we have neighbors because I live in a building, and there's a building next door and there's a building across the street. So it's not as bad as some places, just building after building after building. But yeah, and then there are houses. Usually they're like mini buildings, like they've got apartments inside. From the outside, look like a regular house, but they're actually it's been broken into apartments.
Right. Well, this ain't bad for 260,000.
You can't get that. There's no way. There's nothing in New York for 260,000.
Yes, there is. There's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 and 1,500 square foot.
Where is that?
Staten Island.
Well, yeah, that's Staten.
Yeah.
Do you want to live over there? You know, and not only that, Staten Island's got the garbage in it, the garbage dump, the big dump for all of New York's garbage is in Staten Island.
Right.
Yeah, but we can't live out. It's too far away from everything. It's too far away from Bryn's work, Bastion's school, everything.
Right. Yeah, and you know, those are trade-offs that you have to figure out if you want to make. You know?
And not only that, there's a whole lot of tolls we've got to pay to get into the city and stuff like that. It's just not. I can't imagine that would be a good place in Staten Island for 250 grand. I can't even think that it would be a good.
No, it has a little garage underneath it. The front looks quite cute. I mean, the front is cute, but it doesn't have any inside photos, which makes me question.
Oh no, it's not updated for sure. There's no update in that house.
Right.
Look around the Bronx, actually, is where you should be looking. So that's where we live. In the Bronx.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't show me what, you know, the boroughs. It just shows like a condo for $1 million for 7, and has 7 bedrooms. And I'm like, who needs 7 bedrooms?
Well, in the Bronx, if you had 7 bedrooms, it'd be over more than $1 million.
Yeah.
Bronx is very expensive.
Yeah.
Queens is expensive. Brooklyn's expensive.
Oh, this is kind of cute. Well, that's Staten Island too. It's a little 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 1-car garage, built in 1999. It's been on realestater.com for almost a year now.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Yeah. It's small is what's wrong. Like that, I don't know. They're for the same house here. It's would be 79,000 maybe.
Right.
Just by its design.
How much is the pack of cigarettes where you live?
$4.09.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
So really?
$40 for a whole carton of cigarettes.
Oh yeah, easily.
I pay $100 for a carton of cigarettes, and that's getting it cheap in New York.
Yeah, see, that's when it's like time to move.
Yeah, but we can't move that easily because Britain's job and everything. So it's not easy to move.
It isn't, but at the same time, it's like, okay, how bad do you want it?
Well, she has to have a job because what I earn doesn't cover everything. So she has to have a job.
Well, where you live now, it doesn't cover everything. Like because I'm at your income.
It's too inconsistent. Because if we move, I have to have consistent income, and it's too inconsistent. Like what I'm going through now, I wouldn't be able to pay any bills now. Forget it. I haven't been able to save since December. I usually save, and I haven't been able to save anything. So, plus it wouldn't cover the bills. So, Bryn has to be working, and she has to be working, and earning a fairly healthy income.
Right, but even on your worst month, I know what your worst month is. If you lived in a different state, you'd still pay your bills. And your best months, you could buy like freaking cars just for the hell of it.
Yeah. So well, if we lived in a different state, yes, I'd be earning the same money, but in a different state. So yes, you're right. Like if I lived where you are, I'd be rich, basically.
Well, yeah, most months you would be rich. Your lower
Yeah.
months, you'd have to skip eating out a few nights.
Yeah. Well, we don't eat out anyway that often, but like
Right.
buying food anyway,
Mm-hmm.
like it cost me. I bought a 3-rib roast for Christmas, and when I bought it a year ago for last Christmas, it was $80, and I thought that was expensive.
Mm-hmm.
This year, it cost $190 for the same rib roast.
They'd be getting turkey in my house.
Right. So that was the last time I bought a rib roast. Plus, it was all full of fat.
Right.
And a friend of mine had exactly the same experience. We both had the same. It was all full of fat. By the time you cut away all the fat, there was hardly any good meat left, and it was terrible, terrible. And a year ago, I paid $80 for a rib roast. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Right.
And I got it. And for the pot roast, I just chuck beef.
Right.
A 4-pound chuck beef, and that was $25. And I said to Bryn, next Christmas we're just having a chuck roast, not getting any rib roast or any bullshit. It's over.
Right.
That almost $200. I only fainted when they gave me they told me the balance. I thought, what cost $200? And it was the rib roast.
Yep.
So it's gone up 3 times since last Christmas.
You're right. And see, that is so inflated to your area.
Yeah.
Because I know what rib roast we're going for here. I think the bigger, huger ones was close to $40. And I'm like,
$40. Oh my God.
Yeah. $8.99 a pound.
That's so cheap. Yeah, well, it's just so expensive. So really got to be. So even cooking becomes expensive nowadays. Eating out and making it yourself is about the same now.
We've done the math, and there are meals that's easier to order in.
Yeah, we've done the math too.
Yeah, it's ordered. It's cheaper to order it in because it's like, why bother?
Yeah, because by time just for Christmas Eve, because for Christmas Eve we had like I made gnocchi with I make a really nice tomato sauce, and bought some like snacks and things like like cold cuts and stuff, type of cheese, and that was almost $130 just for Christmas Eve. So just eating at Christmas time cost only $500 just for 2 days of eating. That's ridiculous.
Now, granted, we done take out Christmas Eve, and that was like $73. And then Christmas dinner, I think, was like $40.
Yeah, so that's how much cheaper yours was compared to ours.
Yeah, right. And that's
even
the Christmas convenience foods.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, cooking yourself always tastes better. Like when I make my own tomato sauce or but they've got a restaurant here called Johnny and Louie or something like that. It's an Italian restaurant. And when you order in from them, they send you like the catering size tray,
right,
of pasta. And so for $30 you get enough food for 5 people.
Right.
There's only 3 of us here, but
Right. Well, we have a cold spot here, and for about $30, we can get like 4 meals. And I'm talking, feed the 2 of us.
Yeah.
Because we get the hummus platter, we'll get and sweet Asian wings, boneless, and I'll grab a beer. But by the time we're done, it's like 3 to 4 meals for us.
Yeah.
And it's like I can't make this for that.
No. So sometimes it's cheaper to order in than it is to actually go and buy the food.
Oh, it is. It is very much so. And people get. I don't know. I was raised when eating out was expensive. Now it's like, no, it's cheaper to order out. It's cheaper to eat.
It's become that way. It's become the same. Well, about the same now. It kind of balanced out now. So if you order in, you're not saving money either way.
Well, okay. So tonight we're having hamburgers. I went today and I got a pound of hamburger for like $5. got the buns, which was another $3. Got the lettuce, for another $2. So when it adds it up, now we're not doing fries. So we won't count fries. It was like $34 checking out for everything for 2 days. I can go to McDonald's for that and not even have to mess with it.
Right. Well, McDonald's over there would be cheaper than McDonald's here.
Oh yeah, very much so.
But it balances out. Like,
mm-hmm.
there's nothing's cheap in New York City. Nothing's cheap here anymore. Nothing
Right.
is cheap here. I get my cigarettes from a guy that's, gets them from another state, and he charges me cheaper than, it's a regular deli, but I get them cheaper than one would normally get them. And
right.
Cheap here is $10 a packet.
Yeah.
That's cheap in New York City.
Right. No. Like, we can buy cigarettes for the three of us for $34 every 2 days.
Right. I would probably buy 3 cartons every 2 weeks is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And because I smoke a lot. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I smoke about a pack a day. And less
too.
when I'm not feeling good. So.
More when I'm anxious.
Yeah. I don't get anxious a lot anymore. Like, and I think part of it is like I've gotten to the point that it's like it's going to be what it's going to be, whether we like it or not. They can say they're yammer, but we are the ones that have to run our business. So let's take the things out, and this is networks in general. They got all like, well, the advisors, it's like, no, you don't know this business. You don't know what goes on in this business. You just collect the money. One of the networks I work for made this lovely suggestion to start doing things this way. That lasted for about 3 weeks. And then it was like, oh, that don't work. You're not getting calls anymore. Duh, because no one wants to hear all this malarkey. They want to hear this.
Is it Dark Heights Mistress? What's Dark Heights Mistress' name? Actual name?
Shannon.
Sorry? Shannon.
Yeah, that's Shannon, honey.
Hi, Shannon. Yeah, my daughter's a cop here in New York City as well.
Yeah.
Shannon. And the menus do hurt. They hurt my feelings too. Severely.
See, and I would Amazon a lot of groceries.
Yeah, I'm actually going to do that. I was actually thinking because my daughter has a car most of the time. Oh, by the way, you can't have 2 cars here. Forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Parking on the street here is absolutely outrageous. And we always thank everything we can that we actually find a parking spot. So if there were 2 cars, forget it. Like, no, we wouldn't be able to park the car. And
in New York, I don't think, if I lived in one of the main boroughs, I don't foresee me needing a car.
No, you need a car to get around to the Dolly. Yeah, that's the illusion of New York. People think you don't need a car. You do.
Mm-hmm.
The only place you don't need a car is in Manhattan.
Right.
Right, but the rest of all the boroughs, you definitely need a car.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you can't get anywhere. Not for hours, because the transport system in the boroughs is completely different to the transport system in Manhattan.
Right.
But for example, what could be a 10-minute drive is a 2-hour bus and train ride to get somewhere. Right. So you got to have a car when you live in the boroughs. There's no way on the planet you can't have a car.
Well, example, there is Grubhub and, all these delivery services.
Yeah, but you got to do other things besides order food.
Oh, no, you don't. You can order everything, have it delivered to you.
Other places, you got to go places, you can't just... I mean, I do my best to just sit at home and order everything in. I do order a lot of stuff from Amazon.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, because I don't... Also, when you go shopping and do a big grocery shopping,
mm-hmm.
where you park the car and where you live is quite the walk. So you have to put a cart in the car so you can get to your apartment, or screw your back up trying to carry heavy groceries back to the apartment.
Right.
It's
or
a
you
mess.
Instacart it and have it delivered to your door.
Well, I'd rather go through Amazon. Not Instacart's highly expensive fees. Yeah, very expensive. Yeah, but I want to try Amazon. So I was thinking, because I want to order some groceries to do some of those recipes from Julia Child. So I've got to order in from I'm going to do it from Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, and you have Amazon Fresh there. We don't have Amazon Fresh. So that's a whole additional experience. I'm about ready to fall in love with Walmart delivery. Because then they can just order. I can order and they can deliver it to my door. And I'm going to be so different when I get to slow down. Because I won't have to deal with people except for delivery drivers.
Right.
And that'll be interesting.
Well, I used Instacart in the past a couple of times, and it just became the fees became highly expensive. Yeah. And became counterproductive to use it.
All right.
So,
if the fees keep going up on these networks, we keep getting pressed up in price. I don't know. It might be valuable for me to save that 3 hours a week at the grocery store.
Say that again. Might be worth the trip to the grocery store.
No, it might be worth it saving those fees.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've got a grocery store that's walking distance from me. I can go there and I can do some shopping. But it's cold now and it's freezing here. And my back hurts and I'm not young anymore. And to do all of that, then come home and by the time I do all and come home, I'm going to order in because I'm going to be too tired to cook anything. So, although Christmas Eve shopping, I did that. I went and bought it all in store because we've got a place here called Garden Gourmet. And they had a lot of gourmet things, like the gnocchi and stuff like that, and but it's good quality stuff, really good quality. So I for special occasions I get my food from there. But
understandable, but this will sound terrible, but as soon as I heard the word gourmet, I heard, higher prices.
Well, actually, ironically, it's actually pretty reasonably priced. Ironically, it's actually not too bad. I mean, it depends what you're buying, of course. I mean, you can buy cured meat, for $25 a pound, or you can just buy, basic, but everything in New York is expensive, no matter where you are in New York. But yeah, it's expensive. It's just become overly expensive. Yeah, and so I don't know what they're doing, why they're doing that to New York. Because a lot of people are moving out now because it's too expensive to live here. They can't afford it.
Well, and that's why they're doing it. It's like, why are they doing so many weird laws in West Virginia? It's so that people move the hell out of here.
Right.
Today here was our first legislative session. I'm highly pissed, but they're going to, but, I need to say.
Why would they want people to move out? It's kind of bad for the city if it empties out.
Well, that's so, they can finish turning this into a retirement community. Point blank. The state of West Virginia they're trying to turn it all into a retirement community.
Well, what they're going to turn New York into a retirement community?
No, they're trying to make New York the new Hollywood. Personally, they're trying to push the middle class out. Most of the times, if you look at the areas that are older, more historical, the prices are going to be higher so the developers can move in there and buy it.
Well, I don't know about that's going on either here because a lot of people are moving out.
But
Hi,
a lot
SB.
of people I bet are moving in, but they're not like your normal people. They're the people that want to pay, and do, have their butler pick up prime rib for $150 because that's pocket change to them.
Right. So SB wants to ask a question.
Someone's got a question.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Is that Anna? Is that what your name is, Anna?
No, that's the
SB?
cat.
Oh.
That's
My cat's
my
rolled
cat
up.
that keeps flying in here and
Oh,
trying
look,
to
I love the
torture
cat.
me.
I love
Yeah,
the cat.
SB, you can ask the question. Make sure to include your birth date. We got to keep the lawyers happy so that the electric bill gets paid.
What's next in love for Jessica and I?
Yeah.
Jessica. How old is
Need the
Jessica?
birth date.
How old are you?
Yeah.
We need ages.
No, we need birth dates. People.
Yeah. So 23.
Yeah.
And how old is Jessica?
Let's see.
I'm getting your cards out.
Always.
How old is Jessica? SB? I'm 23, he's 27. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good. I straight away you good positive energy around both of you.
Looking at it, I think what's
he's not
go for
he's
it.
not cheating. Go on. You do it.
I feel like that you guys are going to start getting onto figuring out where you want this relationship to be because you've got choices to make. I think both of you have been really stuck on, well, you can't do this and I can't do that. And you guys are going to move into looking at your goals and where you want this to be long term. What do you get from it?
That neither of them are cheating. I feel like that's what SB is concerned about. But there's no cheating going on, and what you said, that they're both trying to take control.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no need for that. They should let the relationship flow and develop naturally without pressure, and everyone will get what they want. But there's definitely no cheating going on in that situation.
Right. All right. But no, so things get a little complicated when you're looking at moving, especially for like us, because we also have to check like all the laws and all the regulations and all that fun. As far as like where things go and what the finances should be, and not only what the cost of the property is, but because property can be cheap, but like cigarette prices and business taxes.
What is the cost of living in general? I mean, where you live, it's everywhere. By the way, even California is cheaper than New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere is cheaper than New York City. I mean, last time I was in California, I was in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I always go by how much the cigarettes cost. That's my biggest concern, right? And they were $8 a packet then, so about $10 a packet now. But that's how much they cost generally. You don't have to go to some little deli with some guy to get some, black market, whatever, right? So it's what's going on in New York City is kind of out way too. We've got fees now. If you drive past a certain point in Manhattan, you get charged a toll.
Right.
And so if you live in Manhattan and you got to find parking, you're going to go around in circles. So you'll be going through that toll repeatedly till you find parking.
Mm-hmm. Now, do y'all not have passes?
No. And it's going to cost you $100 to find a parking spot at the end of the night. It's ridiculous. Everything is taxed. Everything is taxed. So we're quadruple taxed. Like we're taxed upon taxed. Where our taxes get taxed. We're taxed. Everything is taxed. Everything,
Right.
you name it. So New York is not being run properly at all.
I don't think that it is. I think New York has been looking for more, like they're not really in for middle class living.
It's not even that, because a lot of people are moving out from Manhattan because a lot of what's going on in Manhattan. So they're moving out of Manhattan.
Right.
So Manhattan is emptying out. A lot of businesses are moving out of Manhattan because the taxes are too high. Business taxes are too high over there. Right. And the rents are too high. So it's not just the middle class they're trying to push out. I don't know what they're trying to do with the businesses, but the businesses are all leaving.
Right. Again, because they're not making they're wanting corporate money. Corporate businesses don't care.
Right.
Believe me, that Manhattan address does more for a stockbroker's business than anything else.
Well, if it keeps going this way, there'll be nothing in Manhattan left.
Right.
It's going to be a ghost town if this keeps going. So it's kind of, because we don't go to Manhattan. My daughter, the only time anyone goes to Manhattan is my daughter goes to work, because she works in Manhattan. But all the other shopping and everything we do is always upstate. We don't ever go to Manhattan to shop or do anything, because everything is even more expensive in Manhattan.
Right.
So, and a lot of businesses have moved out of Manhattan, so there's really nothing to go to in Manhattan anymore.
Right. But, example, Louis Vuitton, Charles Schwank, the bigger banking industries, they want that Manhattan address. Of course, I think it'll be interesting as they start doing, they have to go back and recalculate property values, because, Trump Industries messed up so much of what they thought the market was.
Right.
I think it'll be interesting to watch what the property values fall to.
Department stores have closed down there as well. I know one of them have.
Right.
So it's kind of like a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. What can I tell you? It doesn't really matter what's going on, but since Bloomberg left, it's kind of been a mess. Bloomberg was good. Cuomo was no good.
Cuomo was far from good.
And the Hochul is disgusting. She's not well. Bloomberg was good.
Right.
He had 3 terms. I normally have 2, but he had 3. He was good. But unfortunately, Kathy Hochul does not quite know what she's doing.
Right. So I do have a question for you.
Sure.
What do you think of your new Australian-born queen, Denmark?
I'm sorry, what?
The Queen of Denmark, right? The new Queen of Denmark. Well, as of the 18th, she'll be the Queen of Denmark. Princess Mary, that will become Queen Mary. She's Australian-born. What do you think of that? She's going to be the first Australian-born queen.
As long as she's from, well, her parents are from Denmark. So she's, where are they from?
They are Australian. She met the prince at the time of Denmark and married him and now she's going to become queen.
Oh, so her parents live in Australia. Not Denmark. Oh, okay. Well, good on her. Lucky her.
I know, but it's kind of like, wow, finally, it's like an American princess, an Australian prince. They made a big deal when, American got a princess. So I was just wondering if you thought it was a big deal that there's an Australian.
I think that American princess was a big deal. I think that American princess didn't cope with the royal family structure. But because it's very tough, but not to let Princess Di cope with it either. And she's UK princess, so she didn't cope with it well either. So I don't think it's got anything to do with where you're from. I think it's everything to do with the kind of structure, the royal family structure, that makes it difficult to cope with. But I don't know what the Denmark structure is, but I imagine any kind of royal structure would be difficult to deal with. But if they've accepted her as she's going to be queen, she's obviously established in her role, and she knows what she's doing, and she's going to be a queen.
Yeah. I think that, it's interesting because, there's more royal families than just the UK's royals. And it's interesting watching how they're structured basically the same.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Queen Margaret is the first Denmark queen royal to step aside for like 400 years. But she had to have back surgery, and she was like, I can't do this schedule anymore. I can't keep up with all these appearances and government meetings because, she's not just a figurehead. She is the head of government there. So that'll be interesting.
Well, these queens have a lot of support. All right. They have a lot of support. They have a lot of advisors. They don't do anything by themselves. It's not like they're sitting there and making these decisions without any input. They get a lot of guidance and a lot of people around them and a lot of support and everything. Everyone's got something to say, and everyone's and the people who count, who have something to say, their opinions do count. And they, that's it.
Well, and a lot of that has changed over time, I think. On how it's regulated, where things go. A lot of them are more figureheads than they used to be. Now they're very much figureheads.
Yeah. Like the Queen in the UK is basically a figurehead.
Right.
She didn't really have that much say in what happened politically. I mean, she did. See, it's kind of like it's encapsulated. Like it's not just one person. It's a group of people making decisions.
Right.
Not one person. And so the king now is significant.
Right.
What he says is significant. But say with the prime minister over there, what they say is significant. They have prime ministers don't have presidents, right?
Well, it's like our president. He doesn't really have much say in shit.
Yeah. And so, and that being the Commonwealth, because it's still a Commonwealth, all the Commonwealth countries come under that same regime, like Australia, Canada, and wherever else, right?
Right. Which he's supposed to go and visit the UK. He's supposed to be visiting Australia, I believe, this year.
Yeah, well, that'll be
interesting.
Very akin to UK, right? So, like for example, being born in Australia means I could have gotten to Canada very easily if I wanted to go live in Canada.
Right.
But I don't want to go live in Canada.
See, I would in a heartbeat.
Would you?
Like, yes. Oh, God, it's gorgeous up there.
But it's so cold. I would get so cold. I can't.
It's the same as New York.
Not really. It snows.
Yes.
No.
Like literally,
upstate New York, when you're close to Canada, it's snowy. But down where I am, we had hardly any snow last winter, and this winter again, we're not really getting a lot of snow.
Right.
We had one flurry, I think last weekend or something.
But no,
the snow isn't that great. Snow is horrible. I mean, it's good for the first 5 minutes, but the next day it's like horrible.
Well, whenever I get put in charge of, this planet, I'm going to make a rule that it snows Christmas Eve. It is to be melted by the Boxing Day, and that's it. But no, like there are some places in Canada that it is hotter than, because they've got the same weather as Portland. It all depends on where you go in that country.
Right. Well, we only went there. We might actually going there because we want to go to Niagara Falls. We want to go to the Canada side of Niagara Falls. So we'll probably end up doing that at some point.
Right. Well, I went to Ontario, and I would move there in a heartbeat.
But you can move there. Can't you move there?
Well, we can, but it's you know how immigration is. You got to have 40 different ways to get in, and 40, because we're all independent business owners in the household. So it's like, okay, does Canada need another top psychic?
Right.
What skill can you do to get there? That type of thing. So,
well, I'm happy. I'm living in the United States. I'm just not happy living in New York anymore. Right. It's just become because it's got too expensive here.
Right. For me,
That's
I'm very happy to live in the United States. I would prefer to live in like Costa Rica. Yeah. I'm very open to living in Jamaica, Canada. And personally, I wouldn't mind moving to Australia, New Zealand. They're a lot more stable government.
Not really. That's not true. Australia. And Australia, cost of living is way more expensive than New York City cost of living. Mm-hmm. Because they have a very small population over there. So they have everything. Yeah. So I don't know that you'll be that happy in Australia.
When it comes to like rights, when it comes to healthcare,
no, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with healthcare in Australia these days. I don't know if it's any better than what it is here these days. A lot's changed in the last 20 odd years.
Right. But at the same time, there's not like problems with gender affirming care. Our legislature took its first breath today to introduce 10 new bills.
They have the same issues over there they're having here. They have got the issues there.
Right.
It's politically very similar to the United States. It's not that much different. It's not as what you think it is. It's an illusion. Don't. You should go visit.
Well, looking at the bills, looking at their legislation that they've put through Parliament, which I find very entertaining, by the way.
Right.
I would love for our president to have to stand there and debate on the Senate floor.
But they don't have a president in Australia. They have a prime minister, which is different. Doesn't have the same kind of power.
Well, no, but at the same time, they have to stand there and debate. Like they can't do this little what I call backdoor action. Right. They have to be on the floor stating their opinions every day.
They have to be part of what's going on, definitely. But it's not what you think it is. It's not.
Yeah. Plus, you have areas in Australia where you can just go get lost. It's still a lot more undeveloped.
The cities are very developed, but it's a very empty country, very empty. They blocked immigration for over 100 years.
Right.
So no one could get in. So now it's empty. Right. And so...
Which is attractive to me.
Yeah, but I think they've loosened up on their immigration policies a little bit. They needed to. Otherwise there would be no one living in Australia right now. So they had to do something.
True.
Yeah, but, so I don't know. It's not. You need to visit Australia first before you ever decide to live there. But you need to visit for like 3 months to really get a feel of what's going on there, because it's not as liberal as one might think it is. Put it that way.
Okay.
Again,
I would take it over the U.S.
What's that taken over?
I would take it over the U.S. in a heartbeat.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I know you wouldn't, but
because I lived there. I lived there for 48 years.
Right, but let's see. See, they got gay marriage in 2004. We're still fighting for it here.
No, we have gay marriage here.
Yeah, we're still fighting for gay marriage here.
No, we have it. Don't we have it?
We have it as law, but have you seen how many challenges and limitations they're trying to do to it?
I know, because I know that that's not 100% because we have friends that had to come here to get married from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
A gay couple that had to come here, and that was around 2013, around that time. Right. They had to come here to get married because there were too many obstacles in Australia. It's not what you think it is. I'm telling you. They had to come here to get married.
Right. But what I'm saying is there's a lot, like legislation is settled there. A lot of the other things that have gone on there are settled. A lot of,
they're not. That's my point. They're not. What they had to come here to get married because they're not settled. That's why they had to come here to get married. Because there are issues over there. That's why they had to come all the way to the United States to get married peacefully, without hindrance. Because over there they were faced with too many obstacles.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, Sandie, when are you on tonight?
I'm going to log back on as soon as I log off here, practically like about 15 minutes after we're done.
Okay, darling. And I'll be on later tonight also. All right, guys. We'll see you later.
All right. You take care, everybody.